Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Pop Review. I'm Sean.
I'm Alex, and despite not seeing Homecoming myself, I still have some opinions on Spider-Man Far From Home, so stay tuned to find out what those opinions are. Yeah, so I'm like the only person in the world who hasn't seen Homecoming.
I'm sure you're not the only person, but because Homecoming did very, very well, and I'm assuming Far From Home is going to do extremely well.
The theater was packed when we were there, so, you know.
Especially coming off of EndGame, so...
This is a spoiler review.
Yes, spoiler review.
Before we go further.
Yes, because there's a lot of things we can spoil for Spider-Man Far From Home. So if you haven't seen it, please go see it. Then when you're done, come back and review. If you've already seen it, sit back, relax, and let's talk about Far From Home. So first thoughts after coming out of Far From Home are...
Okay, first of all, it took me a long time to get into it. I didn't really like the first 30, 40 minutes. I was kind of like, I don't know if I'm feeling this. Do I like this? Because there was that question where maybe Mysterio isn't a bad guy. And if that's the case, then this is just bad acting and bad writing. And where is this going? And what's the point? There's that, that possibility. It could have gone that way. We didn't really know. Unless, of course, he's a comic book villain that I just don't know about.
He is.
Okay, well, then in that case, that's a me thing.
That's okay.
So I don't know if it was the pacing, maybe. I wasn't quite sure, but it took me a little while to get into it. But I think part of that is because of coming out of EndGame. Tonally, I don't think I was personally in the mindset to watch a Spider-Man movie. Like, I know that they're totally different, but I wasn't ready yet. I think I was still reeling from, like, the heaviness and the seriousness and
that's understandable.
And the just grave importance of what happened in Infinity War and then EndGame, that I think it just took me a while to really start getting into the Spider-Man tone again.
Yeah, because...
So I think that's what it was.
I can understand that because not seeing Homecoming, the fact that it was kind of like a John Hughes type of feel that they were going for, especially in Homecoming and in this. So if you weren't sure about that going in, and considering we came off Endgame, it's hard to adjust to that kind of tone, especially if you're not... Because the other Spider-Man movies tonally are completely different than this. Mm-hmm. So I can understand it taking a while to get used to that.
Yeah. Because
watching Homecoming, if you don't know that, the kind of movie they're trying to make is a John Hughes type movie in high school, it's like, what the... It takes you a while to get used to that if you don't know that's what they're going for.
Yeah. I mean, I knew it was going to be a little more comic booky, so to speak, and like more lighthearted. Yeah, exactly. I just wasn't ready for it. No, that's fine. That said, once I did get into it, I started to really enjoy it. And by the end of the movie, I was like, oh, I liked that. I didn't think it was like the best movie of all time, but it was quite enjoyable. Oh. I mean, Tom Holland is an amazing Peter Parker. Yeah. Like...
He keeps proving that he was a great choice, and I think...
I mean, he's perfect.
Yes, like, and he is the best Spider-Man... Hands down.
I know.
No comparison.
I mean, I love Toby because just like there's, it's just that part of me that's like, OG. But yeah, I gotta say, I think Tom Holland really embodies that character.
But I think also because I think he's had, no offense to especially the first two Spider-Man, I think Tom has just had a lot more better material to play with. Considering, I think Spider-Man 2 is would I say it's better than Far From Home?
It's hard. It's a different time.
Hard.
I mean, just think about the time period. Yeah, we're talking like 2002 versus 2019. Yeah. That's quite a span of time.
I mean, I think the elements are kind of similar in the fact that in Spider-Man 2, he's playing with the fact that I don't want to be Spider-Man anymore. I just want to be a regular guy. I want to be able to go out with M and J.
It's so much part of his... Yeah. It's so much part of Peter Parker's...
Exactly. Peter Parker. Yeah. Yes. And in this one, he's like, yes, I am Spider-Man, but I want
a life.
Responsibilities, but there's MJ, and I want to be on my trip, and I want to tell her how I feel. So they have that similar dynamic, but they go about it in completely different ways. Where he's like, oh, I don't have my powers anymore in Spider-Man 2. Great, and he has that like, right, I don't have my powers. I can do whatever I want. life's great. And then this one is like, oh, I could give up the I don't have to be the next Iron Man. I'm just gonna go out with MJ, and like that's gonna be cool. So they handle it very similarly, but in completely different ways, which I love. Again, do your own thing, and they did their own thing. So, I still might like Spider-Man 2 more. Well, but not by much more.
Well, here's my hot take. Is I don't feel like Far From Home was stylized. It didn't have a true stamp, like an auteur director's stamp on it. It just was an action movie, like the way probably anybody else would have directed it. You know, like it's cookie cutter in that way.
You might say the same thing about Homecoming when you eventually see that.
Well, maybe. I mean, that's fine. It makes for an enjoyable movie. Like, you don't always have to, like, step outside the box and reinvent the wheel. But, the original Spider-Man's directed by Sam Raimi, who obviously has a very specific style, if you're a fan of his work. So, yeah, totally in that way, that was one thing that I kind of wish that they would start bringing into these superhero movies a little bit more. But then again, maybe this Spider-Man it doesn't call for it. I don't know. But I do miss it a little bit.
Well, I mean, for me, I like that they nailed what they're trying to accomplish. They're like, we want to make a John Hughes type superhero movie.
So there you go.
And then that's exactly what we got both times.
Personal preference, I guess. I
like going in, I was like, oh, that's what we're gonna get, and that's what we got, and we got it both times. So I can't fault them because they had a goal, and for me, they met it and they crushed it. So let's talk about Peter Parker. So Tom Holland plays Peter Parker. So this is pretty much coming right out of Endgame. So spoilers for Endgame now too. He's dealing with Tony being dead now, and like, what does that mean for the world, and what does that mean for him? Where they're pretty much looking to him now. Like, are you now the next Iron Man? Are you literally going to take on that mantle? And he's dealing with that concept the entire movie.
Right.
Where first he gets the glasses, and then it's just like, he gets that all the access to Tony's tech. What does this mean? Happy's there. Like, what is it like? What does this mean? All this, and I love the fact because Spider-Man's always dealing with being Spider-Man and having his personal life, especially when it comes with MJ. But now there's this other element of being the next Iron Man and putting that weight on top of him too.
Yeah.
And just seeing how at one point he's just like, I can't juggle all this. I gotta give something away. I don't want to give away being Spider-Man, but I don't want to be the next Iron Man. I don't want that responsibility.
Right. And there were some touching moments, where we think about Tony and what he meant to Peter. So I feel like that was nice. I could have done a little more of that almost. Like, I kind of wanted to cry again and really feel that pain. I wish there was like this culminating moment that had more to do with Iron Man than we really got. But once again, not a huge deal.
Would you have liked if Tony recorded a message for him?
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Like we don't have to visually have seen him, but like you would just a voice message for him, something like that.
Yeah, maybe. Obviously the note was a little cryptic in terms of to the next Iron Man, So, but did Tony really think that Peter was going to be the next Iron Man? You know what I mean? Like, I just kind of wondering. I wish I had a little. Yeah, you're right. So maybe just a little bit more time with Tony. Maybe even a flashback. Probably not a flashback, but
I would have liked
something
a little voice message that would have been and then you could literally have played with it where he hears part of the message at the beginning and he's like, oh, you didn't hear the rest of the message, and he hears a part later at the end.
Yeah. Where
he's like, you're the next Iron Man, but you're the first Spider-Man. In the sense that you can't replace me. Kind of what Happy said at the end. I wish Tony would have said, no one could replace me. You could, kind of be so, you could play with that fact of, I'm the best. But, no, you're Spider-Man. Be the best Spider-Man you can be. Yeah. You don't have to be the next Tony. I'm here to, I can give you tools, but you're your own man. And you're going to grow up to be your own person. Yeah. So, yeah, I agree with you. I wish there was a little bit more.
Just a little bit more. Yeah, I wanted to feel pain. What I really did like, though, is I liked the I liked our classic love story between Peter and MJ. I thought that was so nice, and it worked for me, and I cared about it. Sometimes in a setting like that where there's like a romance, sometimes you're just like, whatever.
Yeah.
But it worked so well. I
love the awkwardness of it, like where he's just like trying to come up with a plan to sit next to her and like listen to the movie, play the movies and listen to them on the plane, and that didn't work. And buying the jewelry, and then it got broken, and then this other guy's like in there, kind of has a triangle, but not really because she doesn't really like him. I love the fact, and then the fact that she finds out who he is kind of on her own. I also love that instead of him telling her.
Yeah, I wish we hadn't seen that in the trailer though. I kind of wish that they had left that out.
I agree too.
That would have been a nice surprise for the movie, where she's just like, "You're Spider-Man." It looked like, but we saw it already.
Or they could have played with it where he's just like, "I'm Spider-Man," and then her having a surprise face, and then they could show that in the trailer, but in the movie she's like, "Yeah, I knew that already."
Yeah.
And he's like, "What?" Like,
yeah. So I don't know why they made that choice, but I guess. Whatever. Small moment.
It's Sony. They like to give stuff away in the trailer.
Yeah. I like this version of MJ. She's just so cynical.
Yeah.
Just so
a little darker.
Dark.
Yeah.
Very intelligent. Yeah. I do like that because I'm totally like that.
Like not like doesn't want the attention. She's not an attention hog. Not that the other iterations of MJ have been, but I just love the fact that she's like, I don't have to be in the spotlight.
Yeah.
Like I know I'm smart. I know I'm attractive, but like I'm not. That's not my only. Like only when Peter says, "Oh, you look pretty." Like, so I have worth now because I'm pretty. Like there's a lot more. There's a lot more.
Something
layers.
I would probably say too.
There's a lot more layers to this MJ.
Yeah.
Than in prior iterations, which I love and enjoy. And I love their chemistry. They have very good chemistry on and off camera. As like if you see them get interviewed, you can see that like if they're not dating, they should be because. They have great chemistry on and off camera, so they're a very good pairing. I can't wait to see more of them together.
So that was fun. I liked that. What else? There were some funny moments.
Yeah,
I liked the humor.
Yeah, the comedy in this one.
Yeah, the comedy was there. Like I laughed out loud at a few points.
Yeah,
I can't pinpoint what they are right now, but I definitely was laughing.
Well, like the fact that they gave Ned like he has a girlfriend the entire time, and their dynamic was very cool. Like he's like, I'm gonna be a bachelor totally when we get there. And then as soon as the plane ride's over, we're a couple. And then as soon as they come back, we're broken up. I was like,
just goes through this entire span of relationship in like 3 days.
Yes,
it's so funny.
It's almost like they got married at one point. He's like, honey, over here, honey. Let's make sure you eat and all this. Like they met, fell in love, became an old married couple, and then broke up. It's like they went through the entire spectrum, like you said, like in a couple of days.
Yeah.
Which I love the fact that they gave Ned something to do, and the fact that he's not in this one as much as he was in Homecoming, the fact that they gave him that is refreshing, because if he didn't have that, and he's just like, Peter, are you okay? If he just kept checking in on Peter, I would have felt like, they kind of shortchanged him. Mm-hmm. The fact that they gave him a girlfriend and all these good little lines with that joke that just kept getting funnier as it went along was just very good. And them kind of saying the same thing at the same time, it was very nice.
Babe!
Yeah, babe! Oh my god!
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
So, the shenanigans, they were fun. Let's talk about our villain.
Yeah, Mysterio.
Yeah, we need to talk about that. Like I said, it took me a while to because I'm not familiar with the comic books really. I mean, I knew that he was gonna be a bad dude, but also I wasn't sure how they were gonna play it. Maybe I just didn't know. So, he came off so fake though. I'm like, Peter, how are you falling for this? I'm like, this is so. I know people like that. I mean, he's lying.
But the story that they came up with, the fact that the snap created open up dimensions where you could go to other Earths.
It's
plausible. It's believable.
Especially coming out of Spider-Man Into the Multiverse last year, the Sony movie.
Yeah, but even though it's if
they're not tied together, but being in that mindset.
Yeah, exactly. But just because people went away for 5 years and then came back, so the idea of there being multiple Earths is not that hard to believe at this point in the MCU.
Right.
If you would have brought that up earlier, they would have been like, "Hey, get the fuck out of here! You're not from another Earth." So I can understand them buying that story, and him just like, oh, my Earth, the elementals destroyed my Earth, and now I'm here to save yours.
There's threats out in space.
It's like I never bought that, especially when we saw it in the trailer. But I was like, I knew he was gonna go bad, but just the way they've tied him into Tony and tied him into the history of the MCU, like the guy who Obadiah Stane was yelling at in the original Iron Man is down in this one. How they tied it together and how they Tony's technology that they showed off in Civil War came back in this. So it's just like they did a good job of tying this movie into the history of MCU, which I always love. How you find little connections to tie the movies in even more so, and even after the fact.
Yeah, I did that scene did feel a little forced to me.
A little.
A little like expositionally, like here's my evil plan.
Like him twisting his mustache a little bit.
Which I don't think was necessarily tonally, like that was too.
That was a little out there, especially because there's a big group and it's like, yeah, we're together, right, guys? Yeah. Yeah, we hate Tony. Yeah. Yeah. Remember when you used to work for Tony? Remember when I was like,
yeah,
okay.
it was very strangely put together.
A little bit.
I don't know what it was about it.
A little bit, but I do love
very wordy.
But I do love the twist that he's pretty much was manipulating them to tie that, because that's Mysterio's character. He's an illusionist. So in the comics, he was a special effects person, and he was trying to set trying to get like insurance money or something like that. He was trying to blow stuff off on a movie set. Spider-Man stopped him, and that's kind of he came up with the Mysterio character. Yes. So he does plant illusions in the comics and in the anime show and stuff like that. So the fact that they kept that element but added to it that he's using tech to do that, and drones and stuff like that to even make the illusion that he's fighting something that it really isn't, it looked great.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the whole concept from The Incredibles.
Yeah.
Where it's like, oh, I've programmed this thing to fight me so that I can beat it and that everyone will love me.
Yeah.
So it's the
same concept.
Basically the same thing, which is, okay. Seen that before, but whatever. Seen everything before.
Yeah, but I just like their take on it, and the fact the scene where he's just messing with Peter, showing him all those illusions, just like, I love that 5-minute little scene where he just like messing with them. Yeah.
I feel like it was too soon to do Zombie Iron Man. I did not appreciate that. It was like too soon.
No, it was fine for me. I liked it.
Oh. Yeah, those scenes were also very strange and chaotic. Very isn't it in the video game, the Spider-Man video game, where he gets gassed or something and then nothing's what it seems?
Yeah, he does get
Am I making that up?
No, you're not making that up.
Okay. But yeah, obviously common trope to sort of like mess with the superhero senses. Yeah. But he had his Peter tingle.
Peter tingle.
That's one of the times I laughed out loud. Peter tingle.
Yeah, especially when he flipped out the first time. Like, they never said spider sense, and I assume they're talking about spider sense, but they never actually used that word. I don't know if they're ever going to use it. I don't know why. You easily can, but just the idea that Aunt May kind of calls it, your Peter tingle.
Yeah.
And I wish he would have said, you mean my spider sense? No, you're Peter tingle.
Well, maybe he didn't have a name for it.
Yeah.
So maybe that'll be a joke in the next one. Where they're like, okay, we're not calling it the Peter tingle. We're calling it Spidey sense.
And then she's like, no, I like Peter tingle.
But it was nice that was an important part of his success. Yeah. Is Peter tingle. It's so funny to say out loud. Say it out loud. I know you're doing it right now. Peter tingle. Peter tingle.
It's funny. It's just funny. It really is. Let's talk about Aunt May a little bit. It's weird to see her kind of like flirting with Happy, considering when we first were introduced with her, Tony's kind of flirting with her a little bit. So if Pepper would have gone away. I mean, not like die, snap. I'm just saying, like, if they had broken up, which they kind of were, like, in a weird place at one point when they kind of met. You can easily see Tony gone after her, but to see now Happy, for lack of a better word, fill that void. is interesting, and I love their dynamic where she's like, "Oh, we're a thing, kind of, sort of,"
and he's like, "Yes."
He's like, "Oh, he's like, yeah, we're a thing," and she's like, "Yeah, sort of, kind of, whatever."
That was a funny moment.
Yeah,
and obviously that'll sort of come back and play some.
Oh yeah, I hope so.
Some funny things. And you know, of course. You know, there's the whole thing where if someone knows your secret identity, then obviously everyone around you and everyone you love is in danger too.
Which we'll get to.
Yeah. So that might play some kind of part in it as well.
And I love how Happy was kind of there, but not really there to kind of like shepherd him and like check in on him. Like, hey, how you do? Like, yeah, I miss Tony too. And, you know, he wouldn't have done what he did if he knew you weren't
sort
here.
of like another surrogate father figure now that Tony's gone. So it'll be nice to watch
kind of Quentin played that role a little bit.
Yeah.
And that's why he was able to trick Peter into giving him the tech, because he kind of was like, hey, he's filling that void that Iron Man left. So you can understand why Peter was willing to give it up, because he just kind of planted that seed like, hey, you should kind of do your own thing. Oh, you like this girl? Yeah, you should go for it. Yeah. Oh, you got this tech? Yeah. Oh, you're going to give it to me? No, I don't want it. No. That's when you know someone really wants it, when they're like, you want this? No, I really don't want it. No, here, have it. Oh, okay. This is like, oh, you know, you really wanted it to begin with. You were just playing it off. That's the ultimate sign that they really want it. You're like, have it. No, really have it. Okay.
I'm good at that.
It's like, you really didn't put that much of a fight. Because he really didn't. He's like, have it. No, really have it. Okay.
All right.
Okay. He twisted my arm. Not really. Because I really wanted it. So I love that dynamic of how he played them. And then we could get into the Nick Fury, Maria Hill thing a little bit later. But the idea of that's how he tricked them. I love that idea. Because I knew Mysterio, he's the villain. But I just love how they played with it just a little bit, where you just like, where you weren't sure. Because you're right. If he wasn't the villain, like, then who is the villain? And this is stupid.
I mean, it became like clear, but I was still trying to figure stuff out.
Yeah.
Like, and get back into the zone. But I think if I watched it again, I mean, you know, I'll feel differently about that beginning part. But I
was just trying to what is it? Like, I knew he's the bad guy, but like, how are they gonna?
Yeah.
Like, what's the twist to it? And the twist was, I liked it. I love how they play with it. So the idea that happened. I love the fact that we didn't spend a lot of time in New York. As a New Yorker, it's hard for me to say that, but I love the fact that he was far from home. He was all around Europe and played with that dynamic.
Night Monkey.
Yeah, Night Monkey. Where actually the movie kind of thought about it. Like, oh, if I put my Spider-Man suit out there, people are gonna my friends are gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
Even though MJ figured it out anyway, at least the movie was smart enough to realize, oh, if he's hopping around, because they did that in the first one where his class went to a trip to Washington D.C. and Spider-Man happened to be there too. So it's like, this movie's smart to figure like, oh, I can't do that again.
Yeah.
So at least the movie is
Night Monkey
is paying attention.
And now we get Night Monkey.
Yeah.
Which I think is funny.
And I love how the newscast was calling him Night Monkey.
Yeah.
Like, that was cool. I wish they actually would have had more jokes about that.
Yeah.
Like,
maybe it'll come back.
Like when he was swinging around, like, it's Night Monkey! Like, or something like that. I hope it comes back, because that was just funny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it was fun to see him in, like, a different suit. Oh, that's one other thing. Let's talk about his new suit that he built, which didn't do much. I mean, like, I really thought it was going to have a much bigger bang. There was going to be a bigger moment where he built his own suit.
I kind of agree.
Yeah.
Because
like, he kind of electrocuted some drones, and then that was kind of it. Like, I really wanted there to be one moment where it's like, my suit's going to save me because I used Tony's tech. Like, it kind of would all come together. Like, you know, I'm not Iron Man, but I can still use his tech. You know, I can still remember Tony by, you know, the suit that I built.
And we saw it in the trailer, and the fact that, like, Spider-Man has worn a lot of different suits over the years. You made his suit similar to the other suit he had. You just changed the color a little bit. So, I mean, if you're going to give him a new suit, at least make it completely look different than the other suit he was wearing.
Or have it, like, do something. Like, really, really... Like a moment. I want a moment where it's like, whoa, I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah, that suit, like, oh my god, that's the reason he made that suit, because he could do that now.
Yeah, that was the part that I was sorely missing.
Or that the movie kind of set it up that that's what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Because if you want to play with like how Iron Man is, when he had the Mark 1 suit and the Mark 2 suit and when he got the Mark 3 suit, like, oh, it did something it looks completely different and does different things. So you're like, oh, that's why it looks different, because it does something different. So that's why when he was building it, when we had that montage of him building it, I'm like, oh, this suit's going to do something.
Yeah.
And it kind of never really did.
Yeah, I feel like that was a big no-no.
Because like when he got the Iron Spider suit, that did something.
Oh,
when he had the spice come out. Like, oh yeah, there you go. That's what makes that suit different.
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting that to happen, and we kind of really didn't get it.
Yeah, I missed that. I'm gonna have to dock the movie just like a point for that, because like that would have been a huge moment where everything comes together.
Well, because it'd be one thing if he was just like, oh, here's a new suit. Yeah. Because you don't have your old one.
But he's building it.
He's building it, and
you know what?
he's putting effort into it, and like, is it ready?
He also thinks that AC/DC is Led Zeppelin. So, I mean, the kid's an idiot. Like, he's apparently not as smart as...
He doesn't know.
I know. I just said that.
Yeah, but...
What an idiot.
A lot of people probably don't know.
They're not my friends.
Oh, sorry.
But,
what else?
These kids nowadays.
I mean, the fact that the school trip was just kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
They're kind of in a hostel, for lack of a better word, at the beginning, and they're like, oh, we just kept getting upgraded and upgraded and upgraded.
Yeah, that was good.
Like, no, that's not how things really work.
Yeah.
And the fact that, like, oh, these bad things keep happening, let's cancel the trip. And then, like that part was just kind of getting, like, really? Really? Okay.
That was funny.
I mean, it was like, whatever.
It was funny.
It was funny, but it's just, like, a little ridiculous, but still funny.
I mean, yeah.
But it was like, I'm okay with it.
Definitely some not terribly competent teachers.
Yeah. It was like, we really don't want to be here. We're just here because the school made us.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Nick Fury, who
apparently was not
Nick Fury, yeah. I mean, knowing what we know now after watching it, it makes more sense.
Yeah.
Because Nick was acting very weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like throughout the movie, like some parts are like, all right, he's acting normal. Other parts he's acting weird. Mm-hmm. And now we know why he's acting weird. We'll get to that when we talk about the end credit scenes. But just it's also weird too that he was in all 3 movies this year. He was in Captain Marvel. He was in Endgame.
Busy man.
Not much in Endgame, but he was also in this too, and he plays. And
I guess you could argue now that that's why his eye patch was popping onto different eyes in all the promotional material, because maybe our shapeshifter friend kind of got it wrong.
Maybe in that promotional shot he got it wrong.
Yeah, there you go.
That makes more sense too. Because that was a thing. So I like the fact that especially when he was recruiting him, Tony was ghosting him, and then he's just like. And then he tranks Ned.
How like he's trank? Yeah, I was like, what? Who does that?
And he's like, if people keep interrupting me, we're going to
go to another funeral.
Exactly. So I love the fact that he's kind of trying to recruit him.
Yeah.
And just like saying, you got responsibilities, kid. You know, Tony put a lot of faith in you. Hopefully that faith was justified.
Yeah, I feel like they're really hitting that.
Yeah, he put a lot of weight on him. Yeah, and. Hey, from Nick's point of view, you could understand it. Where it's like, hey, Tony picked you for a reason, kid.
It's like, I'm trying to
prove
protect
it to
the
me.
world.
Yeah, prove it to me that you're worthy of him doing that. Mm-hmm. Like you proved it to him, now prove it to me. Mm-hmm. So I can understand from his point of view why he put a lot of pressure on him.
Yeah.
Even though he is a kid, he's like, I don't care. You've been like you said, you've been to space, for crying out loud. Like there's nothing you shouldn't be able to handle on Earth.
Yeah. So
like snap out of it, kid. You had obstacles, I got rid of them. You should have no excuses now.
Except the fact that he's just a kid and he just wants to have a normal life.
But he doesn't, like Nick's like, I don't give a crap about that. Let's get the job done. Mm-hmm. And then you can do it then you can have the girl. Let's get the job done first. So, and Agent Hill was along for the ride. She had a nice little moment when she destroyed the drone that was going to shoot Nick Fury. But she was just there. She was okay.
Well, it wasn't really her either.
No, but the idea that she but she was okay. She didn't have that much to do, but she was there. She was around. Anything else before we talk about the end credit scenes?
I think the end credit scene is the final thing we should discuss. I think we touched on everything.
So there's two. So let's talk about the. So basically, before we get to that, so obviously he kills Mysterio, or Mysterio dies.
Yeah.
Which I was a little surprised that he would die, considering Vulture survived Homecoming, and then Scorpion was there, so there was like, are they building towards the Sinister Six maybe? Mm-hmm. And then now we get Mysterio, so I thought they were building towards something like that maybe, but Mysterio's dead, so it's fine. But he got a little bit of revenge post-mortem. Mm-hmm. So like he's swinging with MJ. MJ's like, oh, I'm never doing that again. Which was a nice trope from the first movie where he's swinging with MJ and she's like, oh, I love that, yay! She's like, no, I'm never doing that again.
You gotta give her an upside down kiss. That's the only way.
No, well, I wish they would have made a joke about that where it's like, can I have a kiss? And she's hanging upside down. Yeah. Like, no, I'm not gonna kiss you like that. That's weird.
Maybe they will.
Yeah, I hope they do. Please make that joke when the third movie comes out. So he's about to swing away, and then we see on the big screen that Mysterio pretty much altered the video where it makes it look like Spider-Man killed him and was in charge of the drone strike.
Yeah.
And then on top of that,
what a villain.
He outs out his secret identity, and on top of that, we got the Daily Bugle as not really a paper, but more like a blog.
J.K. Simmons!
And then J.K. Simmons came back to play J. Jonah Jameson. When that happened, I did not see that coming, and the whole theater erupted.
We're like, woo!
Like, I'm not even 100% sure what he said, because I was just like, oh my god, they did it. Like, all of us was like, hope, oh, it would be great to have him back. It's probably never going to happen.
Yeah.
But the idea, and I love the idea now that it's not a newspaper, that he's pretty much like a blogger, and like, where he's like conspiracy theories and all that stuff. I love that because basically that's kind of how he is in the new Spider-Man video game, where he's kind of left the paper and he's kind of running his own. He's like, he has a podcast or like a radio show in the game where he's kind of doing the exact same thing. So I love the fact that they either took that element or borrowed that element, or who borrowed it from who first. Don't care. I love that element now that he's.
But is he going to be in the next one?
I hope. He's got to be.
Is he a character now?
He's got, like, you can't bring him back just for that. He has to be.
Maybe that's what he wanted, though. You know,
I don't know.
Maybe that's all he agreed to do.
I'm like, but for me, it's like, if you agree to do that, how is that all you're gonna agree to do?
He's maybe busy with other stuff, you know. Like maybe he's just like, hey, if they wanted him. And he's like, no, I can't commit to, like, another movie, like, but maybe at the end I can give you a little something or other. Like, that's possible. It's possible,
but I really hope that he comes back. But let's just talk about how Peter now, his secret is out there.
Yeah. What the?
Yeah, and I love the fact because that plays off of what Aunt May said at the end of Homecoming. When she found out he was Spider-Man. So that's where that came from. Good. But now that his secret is out there, how is he going to react to it? And B, how are the people around him going to react to that? Because the movie made a point that, like, Ned was like, hey, I was the one who found out first. Yeah. Now you know, but now everybody knows. Like, how are the rest of his other classmates going to react to that? And how are whoever the next villain's going to be react to the fact that, hey, I know who I got an Aunt May.
Right. I mean, obviously there's going to be quite a few scenes where he's trying to convince people that he's not, I would think.
Probably. And he first has to convince him that he's not a villain, that he didn't kill Mysterio.
Right, yeah.
And now he's like, well, no, he lied. I'm not Peter Parker. So he has to, I don't know if he's going to embrace that or try to hide it. Kind of like how Iron Man just said at the end, I am Iron Man. When they had the backstory, like, no, he's your body protector.
Yeah.
Go with that. Just like in the comics. Now forget that. I am Iron Man. So, like, that was kind of the I am Iron Man kind of play for Spider-Man, where he's like, nope, he's Spider-Man. Deal with it. So I'm very fascinated to find out how the MCU is going to play with that. And it's also kind of like, I'm kind of glad they did that because Peter's the only superhero in the MCU who had a secret identity. No one else really did.
Yeah.
But I just love the fact that they put it out there. Now we have to, like, all right, now that everybody knows how does the world and him deal with it.
Yeah, it's definitely a good setup for where we're going.
Yeah, actually, with
it's
the
a great way to leave it. Great cliffhanger.
Great, and I was just like, oh man, that was great. So then now we get the end credit scene where we find out that Agent Hill and Nick Fury were Skrulls the entire movie, and that Nick was literally giving them orders on what to do. Mm-hmm. So now that we know that, we also saw Nick on a spaceship, pretty much chilling out. How long he's been there, we don't know. Where's that spaceship? We don't know. Mm-hmm. Where they're going, we don't know. Who else is on that spaceship besides the Skrulls? We don't know. There's a lot of things we don't know. We can speculate. So what I'm speculating is that maybe now that Nick came back from being snapped, he's more paranoid than ever before, and he's kind of setting the Skrulls out there to kind of do more of his dirty work, and maybe trying to collect more information, but also chilling out too. Maybe he's building SWORD, which is kind of the space version of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh.
And maybe this is the groundwork of that. So I don't know because now the Skrulls are not necessarily the bad guys. They're our friends. Maybe for now we don't. I mean, based off what we saw in Captain Marvel and what we're seeing now, they're.
It seems like
yeah. And fun fact, which a lot of people missed, is that we see the Skrull in Avengers EndGame. In the scene Peter's in. So when Peter comes back to his school and he sees Ned, the Skrull is in the background, moving telling the kids where to go. So they planted that seed in EndGame because they knew it would pay off in Far From Home. So again, just loving how the movies are tying together.
Nice catch.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, do you want to?
So what did you think about the last end credit scene?
Wait, the one you just
talked.
Like just what you said. I have no idea. So it was whatever.
No, that's
I don't know.
So
I have no opinion on that. I don't really care.
I don't care because like that. I'm sure that is gonna play a bigger role.
Well, sure, it matters.
Moving forward,
like you said, I mean, it's speculation.
It's speculation because there's not really much to go on.
We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, so I'm curious to find out sometime this year whether it's Comic-Con or D23 of what movies we're gonna get, and I could probably further. Mm-hmm. We can then further speculate on what that scene might mean going forward.
Right. Totally.
All right, so let's score it. What do you think?
Out of how many? What? Drones?
Drones or fish bowls or web shooters, whatever you want to go with.
Drones.
Yeah, let's go with drones.
Mystical drones. Okay, I'm gonna give this movie a 7. Just, I feel like there were a few opportunities, like with the suit thing, like where I'm just not sure, maybe they cut some stuff out or what was going on. Like there's a few things that I feel like I was missing. But overall, good movie and I enjoyed it. So yeah, 7 and a half.
No, keep talking. You might keep going up.
Well, here's the thing. I can never remember what I rated other movies that I didn't like as much, and then what I rated movies that I liked as much or more. So I have to go back through all of our reviews and find out what I rated everything.
Well, I mean,
because I don't remember it. Maybe
let me ask you this: would you see it again?
I would see it again. There are some movies where I'm like, I don't want to see that again.
Yeah.
This one I could watch again.
Okay, well, I mean, that's saying something.
That is something. Yeah. Maybe 7.5 then for the rewatchability.
Okay, there you go. I think you keep talking about you'll get to 8. I'm gonna say probably an 8.5. I really, really enjoyed it. I think coming off of Homecoming, I knew exactly what kind of tone we were gonna get. So I was unlike you, and I could understand why you felt that way. But I was, and plus it's also good. Palette cleanser, just like how Ant-Man and the Wasp was for Infinity War. I think Far From Home was a good I can't say the words again. Palette cleanser for Endgame, where it's a completely different movie than what we got. So they're kind of like, oh, forget about Iron Man dying, even though we keep mentioning it. Here's something lighthearted. So I love that they keep doing that, especially like even after. Age of Ultron, we got Ant-Man, and then after Infinity War, we get Ant-Man and the Wasp, and then after this, we get Far From Home. So I love the fact that after a big, heavy movie like that, we get a nice, lighthearted, smaller not having the whole world at stake, where he's just London's at stake. So yeah, 8.5. Where I really really enjoyed it. Love seeing how they've moved Spider-Man along. I love the idea of where they're going with it. Please bring J.K. Simmons back. I don't care what you have to do. I don't care if you have to wait for him. You wait for him. Make time to bring him back. That was a pleasant surprise that I think we all dreamed it. We wanted it. We didn't think we would get it. Now that we got it, I want more of it. Because I love the fact that now he's not a paper guy. He can have so kind of crazy conspiracy theories and thoughts about Spider-Man, especially now that he knows who he is. Oh man, the possibilities are endless. So I can't wait for that. So I would say 8.5.
Okay, cool. Well, maybe you guys have a different opinion. How did you like the movie? Were you always excited about J.K. Simmons as Sean is?
Yes.
What did you think about the whole suit thing? Like, did you feel like the suit was exciting enough, or do you think they could have done more with it? Tonally, were you ready for this after Endgame? Maybe it was refreshing, like it was for Sean, or maybe it was confusing, like it was for me. So yeah, be sure to comment below and we can talk about it. I want to chat with you guys.
Yeah.
In the meantime, also be sure to subscribe, like, and hit that little bell so you get notified whenever we make some new videos. And I know you guys want to do that. So, until next time, I'm Alex.
I'm Sean.
Thanks for joining us.